Get ready for your daily dose of WordPress and web development tips, tricks, and insights to help you find success with WordPress. You're listening to WP the Podcast with your hosts, David Blackman and Tim Streifler.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of WP the Podcast, brought to you by WP Gears. I'm David Blackman.
And I'm Tim Streifler.
Today we're going to talk about how to handle conflict in the remote workplace. A lot of WordPress developers have dispersed teams that work sometimes all over the world. You know, this day and age is changing on especially in the online world. How people work. You know, we no longer go to an office building and sit down with office mates. We have coworkers that we work with all over the world, and we're not even in the same room with them. And a lot of times we do our communication through video conferencing or Slack messages or something like that. So, you know, what do you do to handle conflict when it arises? We kind of wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, and I will say that being remote and having a remote team, a dispersed team, there definitely is significantly less conflict. When you're in an office, a local office, and you have coworkers, there's definitely more conflict, more drama that happens, you know, gossip, stuff like that. When you're remote, at least from my experience, you don't have that. Like, yes, you can chat with people and it, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be work related, you know, through Slack or whatever. But for the most part, people will kind of just stick to their work. Also, when you have remote employees or remote team, or you're on a remote team, generally there's not the, you know, strict hours, be here at this time, leave at this time. And, you know, it's more flexible work environment. And so people are expected not really to be, you know, on a certain time so much as getting their work done. At least like for me and my team, I don't care really when they work. I've learned when they like to work, and then, you know, we've kind of have a good synergy based off of, you know, when everyone's on. But for the most part, what matters to me with my company is that these employees are getting their work done, that they're doing their job. And so that typically, I feel like, is really the only conflict really that can arise is, are they not getting their ish done? Would you agree, David?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that you can do to help handle conflicts in the remote workplace is do some type of video conferencing on a regular basis. You know, you need to be able to communicate with each other. Communication is real important. And if you don't open up those lines of communication, at least in the beginning, by just when there's not conflict, when there is conflict that does arise, it makes it a whole lot easier to just jump on a video call and kind of talk it out. I have to be honest, over the last few years, we haven't had much conflict at all. And most of the conflicts that we have had has been people that really weren't a good fit for our team anyways. And we ended up having to part ways. So, but for the most part, and we have a decent sized team, you know, around 20 people working with us on a regular basis. And we really don't have any conflict at all, you know, ever really. So it makes it kind of nice. Maybe that's because we're all remote and we're not right in each other's spaces. And when life happens and things go on and we're upset or angry and we carry that stuff into, you know, an office environment, it kind of spills over to everybody else, where when you're remote, you don't really have to deal with that. I don't know if Tim's upset and angry and having a bad day because I'm not there with him, you know. So
yeah,
you know, when we do communicate, it's good.
Definitely. And I'm going to throw out here a theory as to why there's a lot less conflict with remote. I think to be someone that can work remote, it takes a very specific type of person. There's certain people that they need to be in that office, and for them to actually be productive on their own and stay sane, working from home by themselves or in a co-working space, whatever, it takes a specific type of person, someone that's a little more disciplined, a little more focused, and, is willing to trade off, the social aspects of a office environment for the flexibility that a remote job provides. And so I feel like, the people that can't do that like remote work just isn't a good fit for them. Well, not all people are like this, but I'm saying those people that you see in the office that kind of feed off of that drama, that they kind of, they feed off of conflict, and it's almost like they're, I don't know what to call them, like a bad egg, a bad apple, like where they're kind of just
bad seed.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, again, this is just kind of my theory, kind of thinking through this as we're talking about it out loud here, where remote jobs, whether you're a freelance contractor or you're on a salaried employee, but you're working remote, I feel like those types of jobs don't attract those types of people so much. Again, it's just a theory, but I feel like you do have to be more focused to be able to work from home without someone looking over your shoulder, seeing when you get in, seeing when you're going for a coffee break, stuff like that.
I agree. All right. Well, we hope that's helped you. How to handle conflict in the remote workplace. Tomorrow we've got another great topic. What is wireframing and web design, and why you should consider it? Tim, until tomorrow, we'll see you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We've come to the end of today's episode of WP the Podcast. Join us tomorrow for more daily tips and strategies designed to help you run your WordPress business toward success. Remember to subscribe to WP the Podcast so you can stay up to date with each episode. And don't forget to rate and review us. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on WP the Podcast.